that's it. That's the level of expectation and effort that we're putting into it today. So that being said, we do have 2 VOD reviews, and if we have time before Overwatch League starts, I'm gonna try and do some Overwatch League analysis. But here's the thing: we're not gonna be doing like normal Overwatch League analysis. It's actually gonna be a POV analysis. In other words, we're gonna be looking at a specific player and looking at their POV from replays. So you guys are gonna have to help me pick the player though, because I don't know who I should review. I was gonna do Nisha from Chengdu, but I'm open for whatever. So you guys, if you have an Overwatch League player that you like, we'll mention it later, and then we'll vote over it. Shy? Maybe, sure. But good to see everybody. Hey, White Noise. Good to see you, mate. But yeah, let's get this started. So we have 2 VODs. I'm too dirty. Okay, so they are getting crushed. I'm 3 dirty, I say. Reviewing you. So let's get this pulled up then. Who are the players you've coached who are in Allegan? Don, Khan, I'm 37, Aztec. And I've worked with a couple of the other ones, but I don't think I can talk about that. Who has the interesting note in the who has the note interesting role? I'm sorry, does anybody, I'm looking at this sentence right here. Who has the note interesting most? I was thought, okay, well guys, I've officially snapped. I've officially lost my mind. I have no idea what that sentence means. Crap. I knew I shouldn't have gotten into streaming. My mom said video games were gonna melt my brain. I didn't listen, and here we are. But oh, okay. of course. Okay. Who is the most interesting role in Al? I'm not really sure actually. I mean, to be honest, right now nobody's playing Moira, and nobody's playing Reaper. And there's not a ton of Mei being played. So I think there's a lot of flexibility. Yeah, Moira is garbage, poo-poo trash. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. In fact, if I were to write a thesis on why Moira was bad, it would be 2,500 words of garbo, poo-poo, trash, and maybe some extra poo-poo. So I might go poo-poo, poopy, just to emphasize my point, and show off a little bit more of my flexibility when it comes to my vocabulary. So, ironically, there I'm trying to remember the word for vocabulary. That's irony upon irony. Okay, so I'm too dirty. I just started playing Ana this season. I play Brig when I play support. This is a win, but I played very average on console. Let's see if this is a roast review or not. So if I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh, sorry. If I'm gonna lose my mind. If I love how that's still up in the air. We may lose our minds. That might not happen. It might as well. I mean, who knows? Like, who are we to say? Right. So I'm too dirty. Oh, we already coached Aiden. I need to check that. And Dolos as well. We checked that as well. Okay. So I'm too dirty says destroy me. Okay. Destroy me. And this is plat. So let's do that then. Commands, edit, VOD, plat, Ana. Okay. And then let's adjust our text because our production is of the nth quality. Could not be better. And we go. 3 hours into streaming, your brain will exponentially go. I mean, that's the limit of our streaming today. I only have like 3 hours, so it's perfect. Sometimes people say play for coalescence, but I don't understand how do they know when to do this strat and when not to do it. So here's the strategy. Here's the strategy. I'll actually explain this because this is actually a really good question. All right. So when you're playing Moira, Here's the strategy. Let me throw out a damage orb while I'm fixing my audio settings. The strategy is, like you said, to build up that coalescence as quickly as possible, okay? Now, you were asking, when do I play for coal, when do I not? When do I use my coalescence? Like, well, specifically, sometimes people play for coal, I don't understand how they know when to do this route, when not to. So, when do you play for coalescence and when do you not, okay? So, you should always play for coalescence whenever... Like, whenever you've basically... So you're in a situation, let me just give you a theoretical situation. You have picked Moira in a ranked game, okay? For whatever reason, okay? And you've decided that you're going to be playing Moira on this map, or at least for this hero, just for a brief period of time. You want to know whether you should be playing for Coalescence. The answer to that question is are you playing Moira? And the answer to that is, of course. And then the answer is yes, you should be playing for Coalescence. So that's it. So if you're playing Moira, you're playing for Coalescence. And I cannot believe I actually took like 5 minutes of my time there to actually demonstrate that. I told you this. I'm not sure why I did that, but I did that, so that was the thing. Okay. I told this is going to be a scuff stream. Yeah. Did you actually have? Was that an actual question, or am I wasting more of my time? Like, was it actually, like, I don't know when I should be, like, spamming damage orbs or coalescence, or what? Euler? Mama? I can't tell what's more scuffed, me or chat. You can only... Okay. You're not a Moira main, but my team says we should play for Cole. Yeah, you should generally play for Cole. Like, it's one of the fastest charging ultimates in the game. You can basically build Cole if you're specifically looking to feed healing or spam damage orbs. You can, as a hair memo, you can build Cole before any other ultimate 90% of the time. So it gives you a win condition to like initially push space or attack the enemy team. So yeah, okay. All right, let's actually let's do this. I need to focus. So this is a roast review. So that's fun. Plat on a console, yeah, not a whole lot. Oh, that's why? You didn't know that it built that fast? Okay, I'm sorry. Am I the only one who hates this skin? Like, actual physical hatred. Like, I have a disdain. This skin isn't even that bad, except for this one... what is this? Why? Why would you do this? What is this? Why? It's so... It flops back and forth. Oh, it's so distracting. And the hair is awful. She looks like a Karen. Like, why? How come there's no cinnamon cookies? How come there's no cinnamon cookies? I'm gonna speak with your manager. It's as bad as that new Mercy skin. Oh, it's awful, man. I hate that hairstyle. It's awful. Terrible, terrible skin. It has such potential, too.
Go. I'll keep you heated.
Nah.
Move it out.
Okay. A little slow in our reaction speed here. Yeah. Good sleep. Okay. Now here's the thing. Early on in that fight, it was very difficult for you to look for biotic grenades because the enemy team was super far away, right? But what I want you to do is when the next pressure cycle, now when I say that word, like Killbox, pressure cycle isn't anything complicated. It's not like the specific calculations of the hypotenuse of the longitudinal angle. No, it literally just means when your monkey goes in, when your tank do something, you do something too, okay? Okay, that is all. So when your monkey jumps in, if you have an opportunity to nade what he jumps, or even something else, do so. Because if you look at the enemy composition, you're like, gee, what am I going to need to nade? Nothing. If a ball dives you and you're sitting on cart and you got a mercy with you, and you have your sleep dart still, even a solo ball just can't kill you. Like, it's just not going to happen unless you've already taken damage elsewhere. So you don't need to save your nade for self, peel, or protection. So you want to be enabling your monkey to go more aggressive and to get kills so that you can get value out of your hero. Otherwise, you might get outvalued by the enemy Ana, who nades herself and hits your monkey, right? So that's not what we want to do. You want to outvalue the enemy monkey, or enemy Ana, excuse me. So like, right there, very nice. But like, even right now,
She'll be fine.
is there anything I can nade? Is there anything I can nade when my monkey goes in next? Look.
Just taking out the trash.
Yeah. That's poops. That's poopies. Poopy. This must don't rush it. Don't rush it because look what ends up happening. Look what ends up happening. You throw 2 cooldowns on a ball and you chunk both. And meanwhile, whatever's happening over here, a nade here. Okay, this is where we're gonna take a small segue into a little bit of micro. Okay. Ball is a cooldown fiend. His literal existence is to try and absorb as much pressure and as many cooldowns as possible and to survive. So if you're not going to hit your cooldowns, or if it's if you're not sure if you're going to hit your cooldowns on the ball, or it's like, man, I don't know if I can land that or not, he's far away, don't go for it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because I almost promise you that a better opportunity will present itself within half a second, and that's what you see here. Because to be honest, this is mechanical failure, right? Obviously, mechanical failure. Like, oh, come on, man. Like you could have like aimed to sleep a little better, you know? You could have, but it's still hard. It's hard. It would have been a little tricky to land that sleep and a little tricky to land that nade. That's a certain console. So my point is it's not that don't go for challenging plays. Don't blow both of your cooldowns on a ball when it's not really going to do a whole lot. Because another question here, the most important question is, if you don't land the sleep here, what is the nade going to do? What is the nade going to do? When you nade ball here, what is that going to do? Honest question for people in chat. If you nade ball right now, what is that going to accomplish? Right, 60 damage, right? That's it. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna do anything. Like he I'm pretty sure you can adaptive shield through nade as well. I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure that you can adaptive shield through nade, and it's literally just not gonna matter. He's got 600 HP. He's not locked down. He's just gonna roll away. He's gonna adaptive shield if he even needs to do that. There's just no follow-up. Yeah, so the nade just doesn't matter. Meanwhile, over here, it would matter a lot. A lot! Like right here. Bang! Smack him. Maybe you save your monkey. I don't know. But this is just a lot of attention baited on something that's not dangerous to you and you're not actually doing any pressure on. Look. 741 HP.
I have your back.
Oh, you're late with your nade. Do you even have nade yet? No, you don't. Oh, you were a little late. Yeah, you were a little late. And that's rough.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay. Console. Console.
I need healing.
Right. She deserved the teabag. Okay, so we played a lot on cart last fight. And to be fair, there wasn't a lot of threat on us, so that we really didn't need to reposition elsewhere. But I think on this point in particular, there's a lot more opportunity to position in better locations, not just to defend yourself, but also so that you can actually see what you're trying to do. So, for example, right now, I don't want you in cart. I want you up here. I want you right here. This is a great corner, great cover. You have a great LOS in the team fight. I want you to get off the cart. And this is something that you should consistently do. You should look at the team. You should look at the map and be like, is there a better position than cart from here? And is somebody else already pushing cart? Because I get it. Sometimes they're like, nobody else is going to push cart. I'm going to push cart. Right? That happens. Okay? Fine. But that should be the minority. Like right now, hey, listen, if your Monkey Mercy want to push cart, knock themselves out. Go take a good position. You do not need 4 people pushing cart. You could be here. You could be going up the stairs and playing here. Look at the nade opportunities and sleeps and then the shooting you could do here and the cover. You could be like, if the card is more advanced, right? And they're recontesting, you're probably going to want to be up here, right? But this is something that we need to get in the habit of thinking about, right? Thinking ahead of the time, where do I need to be? Is there somewhere better than I can be right now? Spells becoming European.
Get securing the payload.
Yeah, this skin sucks. Like the skins, I cannot understate how much the skin sucks. Because the thing is now that they're like, okay, well, I guess the Ana pushes cart, where it could have been your Mercy. It would have been better if it was your Mercy, because your Mercy is the one that can easily reposition. You can't. So, yeah, this is the problem. Like, please.
Heroes never die.
This is going to hurt.
Good. Your Monkey's doing something. Your team can follow up off of this. There's nobody to pressure you. Good. But, okay, to be honest, it's not that good. You only hit one person. But whatever. I don't even care at this point. Like, as long as you're trying at the right time, I don't even care. But to be honest, this would have been a lot easier if you'd actually been in the right spot. Yeah, the payload speed is like marginal, because the thing is, this chat is you're gonna push the payload, and then you're gonna either win or lose this fight now. And if you win this fight, you're gonna cap second. And if you lose this fight, you're gonna have to win another fight, and then you'll cap second. The payload just doesn't matter. Like, there's certain segments, like, like, you're not gonna be able to get enough. You're not gonna be like, oh guys, we got the payload 5% further. Wow, that has a huge impact on how we approach this fight. Well, no, it's not. It's not. It really is not. So, really is not. It really is not. So, yeah. But yeah, this positioning is not good. Like, do you see how, like, you have sleep available? You have nano available. What are you doing here? Okay, so let's use our nano. You nano your Monkey. You nano your Ashe. Okay. What is your Monkey doing? Honest question. How does he die? Whoa! Wow! Oh, he's kept Discord on.
Excuse me.
Huh. Right.
Move it out.
That nade was great. You just...
You're powered
Did
up.
you see the
Get in
problem
there.
here? You see the problem? You see the problem? Oh, by the way, I'm really not too sold on this nano either. What's the problem with this nano, chat? It's not a terrible nano, to be very clear. It is not a terrible nano, but I'm not convinced it's going to be great. Do they want to leave? Well, not just the fact that it's a 5v6, but your Zarya is not really in a good position to push here. I do think she's okayly charged. Yeah. Oh no, she's not charged. So yeah, the charge is, there's a couple of problems. You're down one. Your Zarya doesn't have a great charge, and to be honest, your Zarya is not really aggressively positioned enough to get consistent value. This could be kited. This could be kited. It will be difficult to kite, but they could kite this. So. Right. The goal, remember, our goal with nano isn't always who to nano, because you can nano your Junk, you can nano your Ashe, you can nano your Zarya, you can nano your Winston. Given different circumstances, it's to nano the people at the right time where they can actually do something. Excuse me? Right. So, yeah, the Zarya is just not going to be able to do much to this. Thankfully, the Zen just, like, I'm sorry, the logic here... W. Oh, yes. I swear, man. Oh, yeah. Yes. W. Oh, get me closer to my death. Why? Like, I just don't understand. Like, your stupidity is being eclipsed by the enemy team, and you just slapped the bubble. It's like the moon is eclipsing the sun. Oh, never mind. They're more stupid than you are, and the sun just like leapfrogs over. Nope, I'm still more stupid than they are. Whatever. But your positioning was a major issue there. Major. I just hate you so much for this skin. I want you to understand, like, Blast, you are so bothersome. So bothersome. Nice. Nice nade. Ooh. Satan. Nice sleep. Okay. How? I'm sorry, chat. This is just like why? Okay.
Nap time.
How? Oh! 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 Oh gosh. I'm pretty sure the CIA at Guantanamo banned this footage for being too extreme interrogation material. Holy cow. Okay, good. You're just not gonna lose this. You shouldn't. I was literally just about to say it's gonna be really hard for you to lose this fight because you have a really good position now. It's an even fight, but you guys have the positional advantage. Look at you, Zarya. Look at you. And then you drop. You have perfect cover and perfect LOS on your Reiner. This isn't a question of, oh, I can't heal my Rein from here. Yes, you can. Absolutely you can. And you drop. Why? 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 Why are you here? Why? Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. You're like a squirrel in a tiger enclosure. Oh, I wonder which one of these four-legged beasts are going to consume me today. Why are you here? Why? Why? Like, it's just so hard for me to say anything about anything else. It's like trying to kiss a clown. Can't get over the big fat squishy red nose. I can't get past it, man. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, no. Nano, let him sleep. Ah! What are you doing? You can nano this. You could. It's turnable. It's turnable. You can do it. You can nano your Zarya. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Please do it. You needed a bubble again. Please do it. Please, please. Oh, no, no, no. Oh. Get off the floor. Get off the floor, use nano, and at the very least, if you're gonna have no self-respect about how you position, at least don't stack behind your Rein. Like this. You could play here and do the exact same thing and be significantly safer, have better LOS, and it would actually be easier to use your cooldowns and to do damage because you could actually see what's going on. It's just harder. Good, good, good. Please, please, please. I'm begging you to die. Yeah, yeah. Ah, yes. Paris in the spring. It's just beautiful. Aw, I was hoping we'd die again, but you know what? And this is average. Remember what we said? Remember what they said before they submitted the bond? Well, we won, but I felt like I played pretty average. Oh, really? Hello, I'm Too Dirty. You have germinated me with just this play, a hate for this hero, a hate for this map, and a hate for this game. In fact, I'm going to be like physically revolted at the sight of my computer for probably the next 36 hours. Screw you. This isn't average. If this is average, I don't want to know what's below this. Oh, you suck. Holy smokes. Okay. All right. Let's just take a quick pause. No, we're not pausing. We're still going. I'll pause when the round's over. There's endless levels of disappointment still waiting behind the curtain. I can't wait. Ma. Let's see what's inside. Average. Oh, you're delightful. You're just too cute. Hello, Dragonfly. I'm watching viewer replays. No, I'm not so sure. As I mentioned before, this is more like Guantanamo Bay footage. This is advanced CIA interrogation. This is stuff that the Soviet Union outlawed. You gonna nano, or are we just gonna sit there? Okay, thank you. Okay. Now we can pause. All right. Let's have some water. All right. Positioning for you is twofold: proximity and cover. Proximity and cover. For example, as Ana, sometimes I go for aggressive plays right in front of my tanks, right? Really, very sometimes I will go, like very sometimes, I will go for aggressive plays. But for the most part, I'm almost always, like there's a level of a distance. Like, here's what I got, here's what I do. I literally have a fishing rod. And you hook it on your main tank's butt cheek. And you're gonna keep like, I don't know, 10 yards? I mean, like, it's just contextual, right? Like, I shouldn't have to measure it out for you. You know that if you get too close, you're going to get burned, you're going to get grabbed, shattered, smashed, spammed, dynamited, high nooned, or otherwise inconvenienced. And you've seen it over and over and over again in this attack. That and cover. And now we could talk about high ground and how some positions are better than others. As long as you can see your tank line relatively well and you have cover, you are free to choose anything in the wild rainbow of positioning. And I guarantee you, I'm Too Dirty, that even you aren't stupid enough to choose something bad. In other words, we're talking about, okay, I like this position, I don't like that position. Like, But you don't need me to tell you that. If you really sat and thought about some of the positions that you're going here, you would say, oh, this doesn't make any sense. I could just position on high ground here. Wait, why did I drop there when I could easily see my Reinhardt? And then I immediately get punished. Right? You don't need a coach to tell you that. So I'm glad that you have sent in this VOD, because I'm gladly will take the responsibility to highlight your issues. Highlight, that's definitely the right word for this. But you don't need this. It just doesn't look like you're thinking about it at all. And that's a problem. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about your sleep and aid usage. Your timing of when you're looking for them seems to be okay, But you're in awful positions to get value out of them. Awful. Either all up in your Rhine, or you're sitting on the floor so you can't see anything, or going on above you so you can't land any good nades or sleeps. The only thing I'd say is you need to be a little more aware of Zarya bubbles. That's a big one for you. But outside of that, like... But that's the big thing for me. Like, you don't know who to nano, who to nade, or who to sleep. You don't know how to avoid damage, how to see anything, how to heal, how to shoot, how to protect yourself, how to protect your team, because you're stuck like playing piggyback like Yoda on Anakin Skywalker. Wait, wrong one. Shoot! Luke Skywalker. I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, cotton cam. That's also cotton cam.
Attackers incoming.
Peasant. Okay.
But be careful. Watching your back.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to know. It was some obscenities, some like IRL threats. It was getting a little too far. Said something about my mama, you know. Okay. Now let's see. Are we gonna think about our positioning again, or are we just gonna do that? Are we gonna do that? Because to me, like, I get it. Remember we talked about how you could occasionally go more aggressive for quick cooldown usage? Sure, but let's not do that by walking forward and sticking our big fat face into a psychotic Danish. Is he Danish? Dutch nutbag. Let's not do that. Okay, not as in his nuts, but as in he's a nutbag. I probably should have clarified that. This is not it. Like, for example, if I'm looking for aggressive cooldown usage, what I'm looking for is this, right? Like, this is kind of greedy, but I can throw a nade here and get out, and I don't have to stick my face all the way up into the enemy team. Right? That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal. Oh, your hog is feeding. Wow, I think he got baited by your, Oh, wow. Why did you throw that save there? Mickey's really disappointed in you. Mickey's gonna lock you up in his freezer if you do that again. Like, no, there's nobody there. There's no, and even if you did land a slate there, how on earth are you gonna find value from that? How on earth? The goal should be that when the enemy team, you use a cooldown when your team can get value out of it, when your team can push it or pressure it, or it slows down the enemy team from pressuring you when they want to push you, right? So, like, right, for example, right now, you might go for a sleep dart, right? Maybe you catch the Rhine, maybe you catch a Sigma, but you see how they're actively aggressing on you, right? There's an actual fight going on now. So now you can look for your sleep dart, right? That's when you go for it. That's when you'd also go for nade. You don't run into the middle of the enemy team and say, hey, and then run away, right? You either wait for your team to aggress on them, in which case you can nade or sleep, or for them to aggress on you, in which case you nade or sleep them. And looking at your comm, your team's not really gonna wanna move. They're gonna kind of sit right here and be like, come at me, and that's when you can find value to nade or sleep, without even trying. Instead, we walk into the enemy team to find value, and then we just chuck a sleep. Kill box. Right. Don't like this position. Nice shots. Fine. Unfortunate that we had to nade that, but you know, whatever. Right. So I'm a little frustrated that sleep didn't land, and we could talk about how, well, you could have technically guessed that he wouldn't have swung. You know what? I don't care. They're coming into the fight. They're smashing in, and he chucked a sleep in. Great. I'll take it. We'll take that. That's an improvement. But that being said, why here? Why not here? I just want you to think a little more about your positioning. Now, this point is honestly pretty easy to position for as a flex support. There's not a lot of positions you need to choose from. It's pretty straightforward. Hey, I'm gonna be here. Hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here, and that's basically it. Or I'm gonna be all the way over here, all the way over there. There's just not a lot of choices, so there's not a lot of difficulty, right? There's freedom through the restriction. So, if we get to second point, which I assume we're going to, that's where I'm really curious. That being said, I'm still not in love with how we're positioned. So it could still be better. Okay? Wow, you are really up in there, Chief. Wow. Wow. Where's the window? Lovely. Just wait for them to push you. play your cover. Why are you here? Why are you still here? But you see what I'm saying, chat? Like, this is just beyond daft, okay? Should Hog play with Orisa and Orisa? No, she should almost always flank. Unless you're going for like an early pull hook and then you can split later, but almost always flank. But yeah, this positioning is atrocious.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Nano's fine. Because look at your Hog's positioning, right? He's in a great position to follow up immediately. Even if your Hog just kills Sigma with the Nano, still worth. Still worth. Hair check. Right. Are you proud of what you've done? Do you feel a sense of accomplishment? Are your parents proud of you? Have you talked to them today? Have you talked to them in the last year? Are you accomplishing the goals? Do you have any goals this week? Have you had any goals this weekend, this month? Good, Nano. I was... You see it though? You see what I'm talking about? You're in front of your Orisa. You're actually unironically in front of your Orisa. You're still in front of your Orisa. Now you're behind your Orisa, but you're not behind cover, and you're directly behind your Orisa. So this is kind of what we're talking about with your position. I don't mind if you guys are gonna push up to peek this, but you don't push up here. You're gonna push up here, and then push up here, and then push up here, right? Corner, cover, and then as soon as you turn around, you're gonna go right back to here, or right back to here. Goodbye. You dropped off your dog with your mom this morning? Hey, all right. I do hear that dogs do get along together quite well.
What? I've seen one. You're going to live. Get hurt. I've seen one. You're going to live.
Nothing? All right. Wow, that was a good nade, wasn't it?
What?
Right, but stuff is happening. Stuff is happening. And did you notice how you're pressing W here, but you really didn't even need to? You could have landed this nade just as easily from this corner here. Now, what should we do now? You should go from here, or to here, or to here, and then that's it. Like, honestly, probably here is your best position. Just chill. Just chill. Hello, kitty.
The pain.
You're going behind shield, but why? Why? The shield, you don't need a shield. You don't need a shield. Play here. This is better than a shield. Hey, kitty. Good girl. Again, you're stacked with your tanks. You're on top of your tanks. Not so you can see your tanks, not so you can heal your tanks. But do you see how your vision is restricted here? Do you see how weird and unsettling this feels? This is like at a My Little Pony first showing at a theater. There's something wrong. There's something wrong in this theater. I just can't put my finger on it. And do you see how you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Your contribution has been nil. You haven't been able to see anything. This is your positioning. Does he know that Ana has range? I assume so, and you don't even have to peek the Ashe to do this. Like, look at this brilliant. Oh. Questionable. And your positioning is bad. And you're gonna die. Hey, kitty. What are you eating? Is that hair? Oh, stop.
Go. I'll take you.
Okay. Now, you're gonna stand right here, and you're gonna stay right here, and you're not gonna move, or I'm gonna break your tiny little matchstick legs. Okay, and you're gonna heal, and you're gonna shoot, and if you see an opportunity to get a nade, or you see an opportunity to get a sleep, you're gonna use it. Okay, that's my expectation.
Enemy seen.
Get back in fight.
I just don't have anything more to say. There's just nothing more. You're Hog, who has 420 HP and a corner to back out from, and he's just been naded. You decide to drop into the middle of the enemy team. Hey, Luke. I just don't have, like, there's no more anger left in me at this point. I'm not in your review. You're not worth my time. You're not worth the effort. I want you to be. You're not worth the effort to put in. I couldn't care less. I'm actively cheering against you. I want you to make more mistakes. You're a comedic failure, and I'm not even talking about in-game. If this is what your Ana gameplay looks like, shame on you. I don't know who you are, and I don't care. Shame on you. Holy moly. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah. Okay. Go back to high ground. Okay. Good. Fine. Good job. Holy cow. Nice. Everything went wrong there that could have gone wrong, and you still did fine. Flying colors. Well done. Why don't we do that more? Why? Do that more.
My ultimate is almost ready.
I'm a bird in a nest now.
Oh, thank you, Medical Mist. That was way too sweet.
Remaining.
Oh, thank you, Medical Mist. Yeah, thanks for the cash. You dolt. Nano. Who are we going to nano? Whom? Okay, well, no nano needed.
Scratch, you'll be fine.
Thank you for the subscription, you gem.
Out of time. We'll stop them here and now.
Wasn't my best word.
Nap time.
10 seconds remaining.
Heroes.
What? What do you want? No. Cannot. It's too early. You're sitting here meowing and winking at me. Which, if you know in cat language what that means. Feed me, you stupid... stupid bot. Okay,
Victory.
yeah. So I think the clear issue here is your positional discipline in terms of holding safer positions with corner and cover and a little bit of distance. There just isn't a whole lot to say because your nade and sleep usage, your nano usage, all of them could be improved upon, but the fundamentals of how you use those cooldowns and when and who you can use those cooldowns on is going to completely change for the better once you actually learn how to position yourself. And to be honest, I don't even think that there needs to be a lot of coaching or not a lot of teaching on how to position better. We touch on a couple of points in this VOD, but I guarantee if you had just thought about the situation more, you would have gone, I'm gonna play here. Why am I there? Wait, why am I dropping? Wait, what? Why? Like you would have been all over yourself. And that's the self-discipline that you need to have. You need to be on yourself. You need to be giving yourself feedback and keeping yourself hyper focused on that. You're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be times where you're not really sure where to position and you're gonna have to try, and that's okay. But the vast majority of these situations would have simply been improved by just actually thinking a little bit about it. That's all I'm asking. Just think a little bit about it and you will improve. That's all I'm asking. Think a little bit about your positioning and your positioning will improve. So, yeah. Hear you, Nana the Junkrat? Probably in that situation. I don't remember, to be honest. All right, next VOD. All right, everybody, next VOD. We're going to be going over a really exciting VOD. Not be toasty. This one will be better, I think. Oh, it's an Ash. Ash replay. Alrighty. Not be toasty.
Welcome to Rialto, ready for battle.
What would possess you to say, you know what, what's a cool gamer tag? Cool bro dude 2000. Skateboard nerd. Smash mouth. Ring a ding dong. Not be toasty. Okay. That's that is a tag, I guess. Okay. Tier 1, not be toasty in-game name, tough love, minimal flame, and the rank is silver. Right. Okay, let's get our things situated. I think this is another maybe console one. I'm not sure. There's a lot of like weird things that you don't normally see. Not on console. Oops, that's not right at all. It is console? Okay. So tough love. You know, tough love. Love is tough. Why do we have to clarify that it's tough love? If it's love, it's gonna be tough. I'm not gonna be giving you kisses, right? That's just not how it happens, right? Why do I have to clarify that it's tough love? What about soft hate? My cat is just sitting here. What? Like, okay, I'm sorry, we have to do this. Give me a second. So she was sleeping on the blanket in the couch earlier.
Ready for battle.
Look at this. And there's my sweatshirt and planner. And you see that green thing? That's an old phone that I have to use to cover the power button on my computer because she'll jump in my lap and turn off my computer. She's come very close to it several times on stream. Hey, what is it? Just stares at me and slowly swishes her tail and will blink every now and then. What is it? Look at that tail. Holy cow. Okay.
Precious Angel Amari. I came back at the perfect
Yes, but
time.
look at what you got at the after. Hey, Neotifa. Thanks for the sub. Even better than Precious Angel Amari. Thanks for the sub, mate. 37 months. Ah. Bring back Amari. All right, one more time. One more time. Hey. What? Wait, I gotta move it. It's in the Okay, there we go. It was like on the light bulb. What? What is it? What's wrong? What's wrong? What is it? What do you want? You're a good girl. Okay, we're gonna get started. Enough distractions. Psych phone case. Yeah, it's my wife's old phone case. Wish I never saw that, Slay. Oh, look, Slay OW. Yeah, alright, man. Big fan, Slay. Hope you're doing well, Slay. How am I, Spilo? Good. I am well. Pepper is also well. Thank you.
Attackers
Now we're good.
incoming. Stop the pain.
Okay, so expectations for Ashe. Let's try and position at a safer distance on soft off angles and try and time your dynamite for when the enemy team pushes, right? So that's all I really want, is try and avoid standing directly behind your Rein Shield, get a little bit of distance, and split off just a little bit to kind of force her tension away while still having cover, and time your dynamite. Oh my goodness! Time your dynamites with when the enemy team pushes. So not be toasty. Is this your only account? Would like to say she has good taste in men. The rest of the world disagrees. Yeah. Cap. My wife wasn't even gonna get married. My wife had never had a boyfriend, didn't even like boys, wasn't even interested in getting married until she met me. True story. That changed all that. Okay, but yeah, so you're brand new to the game. You're brand new to the game. So, welcome to the game of Overwatch. Nice. But like right here, you could theoretically, you have to be very careful here because you're low in HP, but you could theoretically look for a dynamite here. Why? Because look at the, forget the enemy clump, right? Because you're not always going to get a big clump, but look at the enemy team. You see how they're actually, like there's an actual something of an engagement happening here. So dynamite here could be actually huge, but just please don't die for it. Get healing. Yeah, go get healing. So your team has like very, very low heals. This is really good. I would probably grab, there's like, this is where like a little bit of your inexperience is gonna kind of hurt because you don't really know the map. But like you would want to grab a mini here. Is your Lucio dead? Where the flip is your Lucio? Oh yeah, he's dead. So yeah, this is where like knowing a little bit of the different map positions so you know which health packs to grab would be really helpful. I know, Neo, but listen, I cannot pass up an opportunity to compliment myself. That doesn't happen. We don't do that around here. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. So one little nitpick here. So with positioning, you always want to position, I think ISX is a great way of putting it. You always want to position what is like the half-second rule or quarter-second rule, where you can immediately LOS the enemy in like a quarter-second. In other words, you position here, but if you take one headshot from that Zen, you can go, ah, and duck, and that Zen can't shoot you within like instantaneously, right? Here, it's going to take you a good second or so. So it's going to be an opportunity for that Zen not only to land a headshot, but to land another shot before you're fully behind cover. Because the thing with Overwatch is you're going to get shot. There is no, like, unless you stand directly behind Rein Shield and do nothing, which is bad for most heroes, you're going to get shot. The goal is that to make it harder to shoot yourself, to time when you're shooting so that there's distractions that the enemy team can't all focus you, right? So that they have to look at your Zarya and you're right, oh yeah, there's an Ashe too. But also when you do get shot, that you don't die. Even in Overwatch League, people take so much damage. They take a lot of damage. They don't only avoid damage all the time, right? They take damage, but they don't die a lot. That's the key thing. They position well to where they don't die. And that's what you kind of want to be thinking about right now. Because right now I have no complaints with how you're using your dynamite. You can probably look for a dynamite here. But you see how risky that is? And you're still overstaying your welcome a little bit. That's no good. So go grab a health pack. Or what you're doing now is obviously bad positioning. Not bad positioning, but not great positioning. But it's okay now. But as soon as you get healed up from your Lucio aura, which has happened, you need to reposition yourself as quickly as you can. So what I would do is I would throw my dynamite right here because the enemy team is here and I got a good angle for dynamite. And then maybe I'd go back to high ground and peek out a little bit here, see if I can catch that Zen. Again, not like, hey everybody, I'm the enemy Ashe. You know, but very carefully, very carefully. Obviously, this sightline isn't great for Ashe, but yeah. Okay. And you could probably bob this. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna bob this. I would have bobbed that. Don't wait. The other thing with Overwatch as well is it's like if you see a fight that could be won or lost, is an active fight still going? You know, Pile Bro, do you just want to be banned again? I can't be bothered to alt tab, but if there's a fight going on, be the first one to ult. Especially with an ultimate like Bob. Just win the fight. Win the fight and build your next Bob. Meanwhile, they're sitting on their nano, or they're sitting on their visor, they're sitting on their whatever else that they might have, and you're already building your next Bob. Go. Good. Very good. Not Bitosi, do you know how to use Bob? Do you have any logic for how you use Bob, or you just kind of just throw it? Because Bob logic is very important. It's very, very simple. It's very simple logic, but it needs to be executed on. Like, it's a huge return on investment. So can you type up, like, I'll keep going, but can you type up, like, what is your logic when you apply, when you're using Bob? Will this be uploaded to YouTube, friendo? Maybe. Maybe. So, but look at your positioning. Look at your positioning. Look at your positioning compared to last time. Look at your positioning. Now, you got forced here by early soldier headshots. But look at your positioning here. Do you have really any harder time landing headshots? No. Not at all. You're actually popping right now. But look at what happens. You peek a little wide, that soldier swings a little wide, and look what you do. Look at that. Whereas if you had positioned here, like you did earlier, you would have died. Literally just from here to here saved your life. Really nice job. So I've watched like most of your Ashe stuff, so I try and put Bob on off angles so generally after enemy starts to engage. Yeah, so don't worry a ton about it. Just try and put Bob shooting at them in the back wherever they are, or like shooting them at slightly from the side. Try and avoid putting Bob like here. For example, if your team is gonna fight here, Bob cannot go here. Bob could go here. Bob could go here. Bob could go here if you don't send him off the map, if you hit somebody with it. But you cannot put him here. It's so bad. Like, even if he just gets slept, it's okay. He'll wake up in a couple seconds and have another half of his duration ready to go. But yeah, okay. Really nice positioning. Really nice. Grab a health back. Grab a health back. Grab a health back. Grab a health back. Right there to your left. Right there to your left. This is just gonna be map knowledge, right? Grab the mega. Sure.
Much better.
So, I'm gonna be real. Careful. Careful, right? Right? Because like your FAR is doing work, but you have to be really careful because your team isn't doing work. So you're gonna get poked out. Coach going to high ground, coach going to high ground, coach. Okay, I'm gonna be real. This looks good. This looks good. Your fundamentals are so far okay. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? I'm waiting for like, why are we silver? Because I'm not seeing silver right now. This is the second silver console VOD review where I'm like, how is this person silver? Dynamite. Brilliant. Again, you're gonna take damage there. Totally fine. Now re-peek this. You have enough HP to re-peek it. Ooh, a little bit sloppy. So I wanted you to re-peek it, but how you re-peek it's very important. Right here, re-peek, but don't re-peek here, re-peek here, right? You can take your shots, you can get out, you can drop, you can get healing behind, or get this mini health back, or you can heck, you could run all the way over here and grab the mega and flick like this. But you see how just this little instant of swinging just a little too wide, you're not like literally like look at that's like a pixel. Right here. Hey kitty, come on up. Like let's look at it from his standpoint. You look at that. That is unbelievably close. And that's the margin of error. And I don't care if you're silver. There is no, I'm not going to hold you to a different standard. This is the level of attention that you need to be giving to your corner positioning. Start now. Start building those good habits now. So as your mechanics get better, as you understand the game better, as you understand the matches better, as you understand where mini health packs and how to use Bob better, how to get your dynamite better, the positioning will just kind of be built in, right? Is silver the real Hall? Okay, again, well done. Good target priority there. Don't shoot the Nano Hog. You're not going to put a dent on him, really. Bob this. This is still winnable. Right. Is this a well-placed Bob, chat? Is this a well-placed Bob? What do you guys think? So again, with your positioning though, so be very careful. Like right now, I would like you to be a little closer to this cover. So you have to swing a little wide to land these shots here, but then you turn your attention to this and you should be covering this way, right?
Bob, do something.
It's not the best, right? So it's not the best. It's not terrible. It's not frontlining, but it's not the best. It would have been better if we could have aimed it to like back here or back here. Would have been better, but it's okay. It's better than nothing. It's not the worst spot, right?
Double kill.
That's why corner positioning is so important. I do not think I would have wanted you to peek this here. I do not think that was the play. But do you see how
Double kill.
if you're gonna peek it, it better be like this, not like this, because you would have died otherwise. You need to grab a health back. You need to grab a health back. You desperately need to grab a health back. You need to grab a health back. Do you see how you're literally having to play AFK? That's terrible. That's terrible. Like I get that's Brig Lucio. You know, it's a difficult account. Holy kill. It's a difficult situation with healing, but there's no excuse. You need to get healing because you can't just sit on the fight forever. Yeah, it's unfortunate with the Bob. Run away. Grab the health back. So, Bob could have been slightly better. The corner positioning could have been better as well. Cover usage. Yeah, outside of that, just grab health packs. Now be cautious. Be cautious. Every peek here is a risk of getting headshot, helixed, hooked, flashed, slept, etc. Be very careful. This might feel safe, but it is not. Be very careful. There's more of your team here. Okay, now you can go. Now you can go. Now you're safe. Now you have like your tanks are going in. There's like attention, but where are you going? This is actually like this is a little worse. You could have played here and done the same thing that you were doing now, but now you're backing off. You probably would have wanted to run to the McCree. McCree might have killed you, but I think fundamentally this is still a worse position than this most of the time. So. But I don't know why you're backing off. Good. Especially now, you need to go back to high ground. Do you see how you're out in the open here, and it's really hard to see things? High ground for Ashe is so good. It's so much easier to land nades, to land dynamite. It's so much easier for you to shoot and see. It's safer a lot of the time as well. Don't just autopilot high ground. But you can clearly see in the situation that you haven't done anything since you've left high ground. You haven't done anything. You weren't safer, nor did you put out more damage. There is no return on investment for that at all. You could bop this. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Bob there would have been huge. Oh wow, you guys are gonna hold this. You guys should win this now. Good. Good. Now you can just hold here because you're playing around the card. But if your team pushes up, you should probably push up too. Yeah, it's just it. Okay. So, some positional issues. A little more micro than I would have thought for this rank. But still significant enough to impact your rank. Okay? Still significant enough. And certainly something that you're going to want to be addressing before you get on it. And that's you're playing on the low ground where you didn't need to, where your sightlines are bad, your Bob position could have been a little better, and like we said, most importantly, The utilization of cover. We're swinging wide, which is risking our life, getting ourselves picked. And honestly, just makes you easier to force out. Because if you're playing your cover, you can juke and hide behind shots while you're like reloading or when you get headshot. And you could stay there longer. The reason why cover is important is because you can stay in a position longer and do more damage. In other words, if I'm standing out in the open here, and I got shot a couple of times, then I have to run away and go get healing, or I die. If I'm staying here, my LOS is slightly worse, but I can stay here for a long time and do lots more damage. So it's not even a question of like, oh, which is more aggressive, which is more. It's just which is going to provide more value, period. Now, if we're talking about this position versus this position, this is clearly more aggressive. But this is the type of aggressive that you would like to be at because you have good cover, you have a health pack, and yeah, it's aggressive, but you also have a cover. Good aggression always has a cover. Bad aggression is out in the open. This is not aggressive, this is feeding. This is not defensive, this is feeding. This is defensive, this is aggressive, right? That needs to be clarified.
One attacker is incoming. Escort the
Careful. Something you need to watch for, obviously. Nice. Dynamite that sucker. You get dynamite, so like you can dynamite. It's difficult to do, but dynamiting right through here would be monstrous. Like right there, holy cow. Okay, now dynamite right here. Dynamite. Ah! Oh yes, that's nice. That's like a nice warm breakfast. That's a nice massage, a warm hug. That was quite psychologically pleasing. Okay. So this is where things get a little tricky, right? This is where things get a little tricky because you could theoretically have a good sightline here, but then they just hide behind cover and it's hard to land dynamite. You could go up here and throw a dynamite, but it's really, really aggressive. You could go around here and look to shoot people, but it's really, really aggressive. So I don't really care what you do, but I want you to understand that there are going to be times where this isn't going to cut it. I would consider maybe going up top and throwing a dynamite once they push and then backing off after that. I would also strongly recommend that you play this position or even, you play a more aggressive position with Bob. You don't have Bob right now, so it's not really on the table, but something to keep in mind. If you hold an aggressive position and Bob it, your attention's on you or the Bob. If they put the attention on you, just run away and Bob's really aggressive. If they ignore you and shoot Bob, well, then you can just stay in the aggressive position. This is difficult though. It's understandably, it's difficult. But this is where you could theoretically go high ground and chuck a dynamite, or you could play this sightline here because this denies him the cover and it has a long sightline. This is probably the best position to hold, at least briefly. At least briefly. You could shoot here multiple times and they don't really have dive or tracer or anything to shut you down. So run away. Run away and hide.
That's better.
How you decide which aggressive position you choose or just about doing different things? I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. My point is that there's different good positions available to you. And you can kind of choose which good position you want. That's a little bit of personal preference. And that's when we start to get these complicated decisions about like, what do I have old and what composition are they running and where are they positioned? But like, to me, it's like that doesn't really matter right now so much as always picking an angle with cover. It can be an okay angle, it could be a bad angle, it could be a good angle, but as long as it has cover and has good LOS in the enemy team, that's all I really care about. Like, let's start with the basics right now. Okay. Much better. Ooh, you guys got the beat off? Wait, did nobody get the beat? Wait, Oh, wow. He should have actually survived that. That's crazy. This positioning, by the way, is fine. You just need to hit your shots, that's all. You're playing a long sight line, good cover. Okay, go back to high ground, please. Go back to high ground, go back to high ground, go back to high ground. Yeah, see, this is no bueno. This is no bueno. Like, you got bullied off of high ground earlier because of the vice or whatever, but like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Yes, they will shoot at you. And yes, you might theoretically get bullied off of high ground again, but at least you'll be doing something while you're doing that. This is no good. You're not safer here, and you're doing less. Again, my point is that good angles, you are going to get shot on them. It's gonna happen. But the seconds that you were there are gonna matter a lot more than what you're doing here, and you'll get shot, but you have less of a chance of dying. Where you are now, you might get shot a little less for a little bit because they don't see you and you don't see them, but they're gonna find you, and then you're gonna die because you've got nowhere to go. Are good angles safe angles? I mean, it depends. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Like, let's put it this way. Here's my best analogy for it. Okay? There are fast cars and there are safe cars. There are cars that are good for moving lumber, and there's cars that are good at moving a family. But there are bad lumber cars and there are good lumber cars. There are bad family cars and there are good family cars. There are bad fast cars and there are good fast cars. There are bad safe cars and there are good safe cars. There are very boring, reliable cars that have good safety grades, and there's also cars that don't really have anything going for them at all. A fundamentally flawed design. They're unsafe. They don't have, maybe they look aesthetically okay, but they're a terrible car. And it's the same thing with positioning. There are aggressive positions, there's safe positions, there's greedy positions, but there is a good greed and there is a bad greed. There is a good safe and there is a bad safe. Does that make sense? And that's the idea that you should be thinking about. It is not bad to play aggressive. It is not bad to play defensive. Sometimes there's different situations when one demands the other. But at this point in the game, I'm not really concerned about whether we're playing aggressive or defensive. I'm just concerned about whether if we're playing aggressively properly or whether we're playing defensively properly. And right now we're not. Like, this isn't safe. This is not safe. This would be like, for example, this would be a very defensive and good angle, right? You see this? Very difficult to die here. This would be more aggressive. This, sneaking up behind here, would be very aggressive. But at least you're getting something for your aggression, and you're not going to die instantly. So let's look at this. And the funny thing too about it is a lot of the times I can tell that you have a bad position when your bob is bad. When you don't have an opportunity to land a good bob, it's probably because your positioning is bad. Think about it this way. Think about it. Where else could you have placed bob? You see what I'm saying? You had no vision on a proper lane to backline, nor were you on an angle to put it on an angle elsewhere. You were on front line, so where does a bob end up? Front line. Right? There's your like bodily inflammation telling you that something is wrong. Something is wrong with your positioning because look at your bob. Right, if bob goes all the way over here, or here, or here, or even here, way better. Way better. You're probably still going to win the fight because bob is busted in lower ranks. And your team is expressive too. But look at you. Do you see how worthless you've been this fight? Dynamite that. Okay. And even now, this is where, again, swing wide. Start shooting this way. Maybe peek up here. This is extremely aggressive. I would probably prefer this one, but let's not stand here. Right? Right. Nice. Very good. Very good. This is what we want to see. But just do it here. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know it feels like, oh, I'm not doing a whole lot, but trust me, you are. Trust me, you are. You're baiting attention. You're scaring them. You're forcing cooldowns. Keep shooting. I don't think there's anything that can punish you here. I'll say maybe a direct helix. Much better. He's been behind you. How do you have another Bob? Questionable. Questionable. Nice shot. Would have been better to just take the L, because this Bob is very poorly positioned. Not worth it.
I'm gonna get you for that.
Payload moves with certainty.
Good. Good position. So this is an example of a very defensive position, right? I mean, you're down a couple and you're gonna die here, but like this is an example of a very defensive position. You don't have great LOS on most of the enemy team, but you have a good angle, good cover, and you can shoot a pretty decent number of targets. And if you want to aggress, you can simply walk up here or walk up here and look for something like this, right? But this is more of what we want to see. Now, you really ought to back out, and you're probably gonna die, but you need to get healing. You need to get healing. Don't be scared of using the I need healing button, please. It's really important. What's the problem here, chat? What's the problem here? In fact, there's a really easy way of phrasing this. What's no longer on our screen? What's no longer on our screen? What can we no longer see? Right. We just slowly walked out where we no longer had cover on your screen. And so that's kind of like, that's almost like I wouldn't say that's always going to be the case, but that's kind of something that you can kind of aim for. As like, I want to try and have like a piece of cover on my scopes. Usually, like it's not really a rule, but that can be kind of like a ballpark estimate, right? But especially walking in this way, there's no advantage here. There's no advantage. Like, I know that you're aggressively trying to shoot him and you're like, oh no, he's going to duck behind this wall. If he ducks behind this wall and hides, okay. But he's clearly not. And in that case, it's a stalemate, in which case you'd probably back out here and start shooting these guys this way. But like, you see, you're at a significant disadvantage in that duel. A significant disadvantage in that duel when you play like that. If you've had any first-person shooter experience, you would know that. And it's not even first-person shooter experience. It's life. Like, it's like actual combat. Like, cover is really important. I have a feeling you guys are just not going to break this. Second point, Rialto is extremely difficult to break. One of the most difficult points in the game when held well. Again, get healed, please. Please get healed. You kind of like hope to accidentally get healed up, and that's problematic. Like, I get that you're playing with silver healers, but you're also silver. Go out of your way to ask for healing, spam healing, go look for health packs. You can't keep functioning at half HP here. This is not gonna cut it. Like right now, no. Well, chat, what do you guys think about this Bob?
Bob, do something.
What do you guys think about this Bob? Almost good. What do you think about this positioning? What do you think about this positioning? So to me, especially when you have Bob, we mentioned this before, but when you have Bob, you can play more aggressive and do like this. Just save your coach gun and get out. But the positioning is, it's okay. And it's the same thing with the Bob. Like you can see that the positioning again matches the Bob a lot of the time, right? So the positioning is, so is the Bob, and it's not bad, right? But again, would love for you to have better cover here. Like even if it means being here, right? Being here rather than being here. I get that you're aggressing with your Bob, but still. Again, you can, don't be scared to flank a little more. If the flank is open and they don't have, my cat just freaked out, and they don't have like mobility, go here, throw your Bob when you have Bob, and then you can play more aggressive and or back off. Nice shot. And then now you're just free farming, like it's over. Cover, 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 cover. Even now, just build it in. Okay. Solid. Solid. Not be toasty. What stood out to you? I like to do this with players sometimes. What stood out to you? Especially those who are actually in chat when we're reviewing. What do you think you need to work on? What stood out to you as being the most impactful, most important, or the one that you showed the biggest weakness on? What do you think about hopping the back wall and hard flanking with Bob instead of pushing through Opera? Yeah, that would be good as well. That would be very aggressive. But do you see Pineapple Bro? That would be a very aggressive play, but it would be a good aggressive play because then you could play cover, could play your long sight line. You would have Bob. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a good play. Okay. Good. Do you want to limit to yourself to that, or do you want to add an etc. focus as well? Because you can alternate your focus. You can have cover focus for a week. You can have something else for a week. You could do just cover for that. I mean, honestly, focusing just on your cover for a month would be fine as well. But it's up to you. Anything else? Also, I guess I don't play aggressive oftenly. Usually I take the safe angles that you mentioned. Don't even consider the aggressive angles, flanks angles. Yeah. So maybe looking for more aggression, especially when you have a good position to aggress from. So you saw about like, if there's no good position to play aggressively from, then don't do it. But if you got like a really good high ground, a really good angle, or you have Bob, or their backline is really squishy, then sure, look for those more aggressive angles. The only thing that you should keep in mind with going for really aggressive angles is what on the enemy composition. What do you need to be looking for in the enemy composition? Yeah, Tracer, Ball, Winston, exactly. Because those heroes are very good at 1v1ing you. And they will punish you for getting split. So you should still take angles against those guys, but you play more of the safer style. Whereas if you're playing against a very immobile comp, especially if they're like Bastion, Torb, or something like that, they don't have a lot of mobility. You can go in their backline almost. Right. Lucio a little less so. Like Lucio's will generally not chase you as much, but yeah, that's something that you can definitely pay attention to for sure. But yeah, chat. Here's the deal. We are going to do this. We're going to do this. So I need suggestions. So we have about an hour to review, divide review any pro player that you want. Any pro player that you want. And I'm pretty sure that I have access to this weekend's Overwatch League games as well. So is there any professional player for any team that you would love to see reviewed? Or just not, this will be like, so I know Hayes does a pro review series where he kind of like looks at the good things that they do and he gives a little bit of feedback. So think about Hayes, what Hayes does, but a little bit more critical. So it will be, wow, that was a really good play, but also what are they doing there? Like I'm going to give a little bit more feedback because I find myself setting myself up with Hanzo well, but I missed the shots because of his arrows and the enemy movement, so I find myself swapping to hit scan more often. Just practice. Just practice, man. Hanzo is a weird hero for me. Like, I hear you. Like, sometimes Hanzo for me clicks, and sometimes it doesn't click at all. I think it's the induction side of his thing that throws me off. So, Piggy, Rascal, Carpe. Yeah, it's a Bible quote. Actually, Gargoyle, not Piggy. All right, so let's well, I'm gonna set up a poll with some of the ones that you guys got. Which owl player to review? Piggy. I don't want to do Fearless because I should be clarified. Any team I've already reviewed, I'm not going to do. So I've already looked over a lot of Gladiators, a lot of the Dallas Fuels, so not those two teams. Decay. Rascal. Is there anything else you guys? Crimzo, maybe? Crimzo, is that it? All right, well, let's FD-God. All right. Molfig. Okay, so I think we have enough, like a generally consistent to start with. Okay, so these are the ones I think I'm seeing more. So vote in chat. Vote in chat. Vote is the poll is up in your chat. Yeah, so many options. I'm just gonna narrow it down arbitrarily. Piggy, Carpe, FD-God, Rascal, Crimzo. What do you guys think? This is 30 seconds left. And like I said, we'll treat it as like the good things they do, the bad things they do, where it's not going to be all sunshine and roses. Oh, wow. It's a three-way tie. Wow, this is actually really close, chat. Holy smokes. Oh, it's really close. It's really, really close. Oh, Piggy pulls it out. Piggy pulls it out. Now, Piggy is the Houston Outlaws guy, right? So we haven't played yet, so I can use my actual account, not my OPR. It's okay. We'll do this more often. Don't worry. Like whenever we don't have VODs, I think this is a good stand-in because I have a couple of coaching sessions, but I'm trying to save them for next week. So we'll do a little bit of everything. All right. So which match, y'all? Outlaws versus Spitfire, Outlaws versus Eternal, Outlaws versus Shock, Outlaws versus Fuel. Let's not do versus Fuel. That's a little old. What do you guys think? Shock, of course. Shock. Holy smokes. All right, any map in particular you guys want? Havana? All right. We'll start with Havana and maybe we'll do some Dorado.
Ready for battle.
Righto.
2, 1. Attackers.
So like we'll talk about like what Sigma's role in this composition is. Like it's essentially just to open up off angles to put off angle pressure on the enemy team. That's basically it. There's not a whole lot more. You put off angles, you synchronize your resources with your main tank's pressure and with your tracer's pressure. Now, the key thing here is the Bat Brig versus the Bat Sig matchup, and I like the tracer here. Even though they are running Bat Brig, Bat Zin, in my opinion, is better on this map, but it's really difficult on attack and playing into Bat Brig if the enemy team is playing really aggressive. In other words, they can stuff you in this choke and your Zin doesn't get any sightlines. We've talked about this before, not too long ago. So what they can do with the tracer is they can soften up the choke and apply off-angle pressure from behind to allow the Outlaws to get out of the choke, essentially. So you can't get your angles here, but you can get your angle back here, and you can kind of harmony over your tracer and just like let Dante do work. And Dante can do work even with a Brig. Like Brig isn't enough of a counter to Tracer to stop her from doing work. So Tracer can do a good job bowling off angles, and hopefully Piggy does the same. Like we could theoretically see like Piggy swinging this way. We could see Piggy swinging like all the way this way. We could see Piggy pushing in from here. Like I'm just curious to see what he does. So off-angle timing, resource management, and then honestly just mechanics. Shock are playing Brig to stuff this choke because Brig isn't as good on this map, but if you play really aggressively around this choke, it's actually really hard to bully this thing out of here because remember, you can stuff the Zen and not even let him get sightlines. Like a Brig can just play right up here and be like, hey, screw your Sigma. Your Sigma's not going to be able to off-angle pressure here. Screw your Hanzo. He's not going to be able to off-angle pressure here. And it also means that if they run any form, it could be discouraging, like the Tracer. It could be discouraging. It's also fairly strong in second. So like the Brig, I don't know if it's better necessarily, but I don't have like enough extreme experience to tell you my opinion on that. But it is certainly not a bad pick. Early shift just for some HP. And a lot of times you just have your Sig pushing card here because he is the... Hey! What's going on? A lot of times you have your Sig pushing card here because he's the slightly smaller hitbox than Orisa. And he has more defensive cooldowns to deal with it. In other words, like his shield, like he can manage his shield, drop it, manage it, not drop it. Shift is a little stronger than Fortify, in my opinion, in this instance. And like I said, the hitbox thing. So, but they'll probably cycle it between him and he and Tracer. A little pressure and shield. Probably see a shift here. Yeah. He never like lets his shield fully break. I mean, he didn't there anyway. So I think his resource management could have been here could have been a little better here. Like I think we should have shielded a little earlier there. And then I also think we should have dropped this shield. So like right here, this is where you'd optimally want to drop shield because if they're halting, you know there's going to be damage tied to it. So you just drop your shield here, shift, and then move to cover from there. So he does drop his shield, but he drops it a little late. And now they just need to play slow. Yeah, so he's going to move to cover there. Because they're waiting on Dante. Rotate right. He needs to rotate right. Right, do you see the off-angle pressure? This is what I'm talking about, chat. Like this setup from Shock is like actually brutal. Hey, what do you want? All right.
Give me a moment to think.
So like this is where I would like Piggy to do this. So I actually think this is a mistake from Outlaws. I really want the Outlaws to make sure they're harmony Tracer, and like have your Zen swing here. Have your Orisa can shoot from this angle. Harmony your Tracer and pressure this, and Piggy should be pressuring in from here. Like legit, just go in. And your BAP can, heck, you can even leave your BAP here. Like you can put your BAP like back here and just like pocket your Sig. But like they can clear this off angle. They can clear this off angle. Like you pocket your Tracer here, Tracer, Sig, and then a BAP, like a little bit of pressure here, as well as like they're gonna kill the Sig. Like I think this is important enough, and I think that they can actually leverage the value of the Zen enough for it to work. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna break this choke, but they need to clear out right. And I think they can do it with a Tracer. Like I don't like the card is enough. They need to go inside here and push this out. And because the DPS are this far away, they're not going to be able to contribute to this. So even though Brig is good in close sight lanes, you're going to be able to push the Brig with a man advantage, which I think is good enough to be able to beat them. So they're like dealing. So like they're doing this instead. So they're saying, okay, well, we're not gonna be able to clear this off angle, or we don't want to clear this off angle. So instead, we're going to isolate this off angle. Do you see this? So where basically Piggy isolates this off angle here at the same time as Happy is threatening Widow here, and then they're gonna push the high ground angle and clear that instead, which to me is not great. I don't think that's consistent enough. And then now they're gonna isolate and push this off angle. So they really, because I still think Glister could do a lot of work on these guys with their back turned. So I'm not a fan. Like to me, I just think you just need to push this guys. I think you need to push these guys. Because you've never really cleared that space. Yeah. I think the Outlaw's playing here is bad. Like that's just Twilight mistake. So that was just them getting isolated and split, and then Dante just pops off / Violet or Twilight feeds. To be honest, like that's like Shock's setup there was just much better. So it kind of sucks because I think the Outlaws. I don't think the Outlaws actually strategically won there. I think Shock had the better strategic plan there. I think the Outlaws just got lucky, and the Shock just made individual errors. That's it. So I'm actually kind of. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I would have liked to see the Outlaws actually play that one better. Yeah, Jat, hello. Oh yeah, we need to change the you guys want to throw some people for a loop? Let's update our title. Houston Outlaws Piggy review. Hey Jack, good to see you, mate. There you go. It's always funny because bronze, right? But now this is where Shock just is not going to recontest. It's just not going to happen. Okay, I mean, unless that happens, because it shouldn't happen because Zen has space now. I mean, there's not a lot to say here outside of just notice how Piggy is kind of gatekeeping this side of the map, right? That's exactly what you want your Sigma to do. He's basically just gatekeeping this side of the map. It's because he's got great cover here. He can go upstairs if he gets pressured, and his resource management is also really good, right? So, like, he's not going to rock until they actually start to push, and he's just going to spam this choke. Do you notice how, like, even though they're putting a lot of resources on this side of the map, he's very, like, hesitant to start spamming this way, right? Because, yeah, he could help here, but again, Shock are going to split push, and he needs to deal with this off angle. This is your Sigma's responsibility. So he'll throw some damage here behind window for sure, and then I guarantee you, as soon as we see or hear any pressure from this side of the map, well, that's so disorienting. He's going to probably instantly turn his attention this way, right? Maybe not. No, he's looking for Flux. That's why he's not. Waiting for Fortify. So he turns his attention off of the off angle back to here, which is a little expensive, but they do have the Tracer on it, and he has Flux. So he wants to catch the easier targets to shoot with Flux, and he waits out Fortify. Smurf is dead. He's gonna try and rock that, maybe. Nope, he's not gonna try and rock it. So honestly, I just think Crimson getting picked there just really hurt the Outlaws, and I do think that, like, it would have been honestly maybe even better for him to have fluxed this side of the map, especially with Dante going on these squishes. Because even if you just catch the BAP with the like, if there's a Tracer on whoever you're flexing, that target is dead before they even get to Lamp. So I think, or even with Lamp. So I think that would have been important. It's also interesting to note here, chat. Like, this is something that I always go for because I'm just a meme lord. But if I'm playing Sigma, I'm going for this rock, right? But Piggy knows that Choi Open's not an idiot, and he's going to move, and this rock is very low percentage. Very hard to hit. So he's not going to blow a resource on a maybe I can stop this flux. He's going to be like, we have an answer for this flux. We have Lamp. I'm just going to survive it, and then I'm going to save rock for later in the fight when I know I'm going to get value. Now, unluckily, the light goes on, but do you see how, like, hey, I can actually rock this now? So it's a return on investment thing. Maybe he rocks the flux 1 out of 100 times, but then he loses out. But if he misses, then he's losing out in potential value for the rest of the fight. So it's a more conservative decision, and it makes sense.
60 seconds.
If I could make a suggestion, we should get the payload.
Universe.
Not great stuff from Piggy. I mean,
Isn't it?
I would have preferred him to spam the off angle, to be honest. Even though they were like bongoing down and that he had flux, I think I would have preferred even the flux the off angle. I think it was better positioning for him and better denial of pressure. But no, I think, like, honestly, like, just Crimson getting picked there was like not good. So you're gonna spam high ground. So the cart positioning is very important here, because you have to ask yourself, why is Shock not stuffing again? It's because of cart. Because if you could send Dante with a Harmony Orb up through here and then just hides on cart and avoids the Widow, he's going to be able to leverage point pressure and force Shock to turn around and help what's going on over here, which is going to allow them to push at the choke again. So Shock realized that, and they don't even try.
From 0 to 10, how is Violet's Creed?
I don't know. I haven't reviewed it. Thanks to the sub, mate. Hey, kitty. You gotta wait. So you notice how we're not even looking for shift usage? Why? Because you only have an Orisa and high ground. That's not enough spam to justify using your shift for, like, HP or to conserve your shield. If there was, like, Hanzo up here, and like a, like maybe a Sigma or whatever as well, then yeah, you probably see shift usage. Good block from Choi. Shifting is out in the open. I don't know how Outlaws win this. I don't know how Outlaws win this. This space control by Shock is brutal. These guys are really good. And they don't have a support ult to create or So yeah, that's his responsibility. Again, the off angle, right? Oh, they don't win. They don't win this, right? No, they don't. Right? Yeah. So honestly, like I don't know, maybe it was just like Glister just popping off, but there's just a lot of kills that just shouldn't happen. Like you can't be getting picked by Widow before the fight even starts. It's just sloppy positioning and like not really respecting Widow sightlines. That's just sloppy play. And I also think the Outlaws took way too long on first fight. This hold is very difficult to break, but there is a very clear logic that it looked like the Outlaws were thinking about, but they just never executed on. So it put them in a position to where they burned over 2 minutes off the clock before they even turned the first choke. And that's too much. Like, that's too much. Like, considering you had an opportunity, you'd forced a Widow Hanzo basically into Narnia. Okay, now throw your Sigma Shield or whatever at them, or just Orisa, or just ignore them and just push this here. And they weren't doing that. I don't think they played that particularly well. So a lot of like early picks. I think Piggy played okay. Resource management was all right. Obviously question marks about like, hey, could we have done a better job denying the right side off angle instead of focusing in main just because we had Flux. I don't know if that was worth it, but yeah. They win the map. Oh yeah, they do. I forgot about that. Okay, so let's see here. Spawn camp.
Ready for battle.
Not giving away their composition because they don't know if they're playing spam or brawl. And the brawl makes sense too, right? Because you know that you're gonna get at least a couple fights. And Piggy's here to deny off angle, right? Piggy's here to deny off angle. Once they roll out on brawl, like actually full swap to normal brawl, you'll probably see Piggy go back closer to main, but he's still gonna be doing this most likely, right? But until he's sure they're going to just brawl, like brawl, he's going to stay a little more passive. Or a little more aggressive on the flank, excuse me. Weird micro missile usage. He's scouting the brawl swap. He's like, okay, they're still not swapping, Choi's on Orisa. That's honestly really weird. Twilight's trying to get like flank value, land a big nade. This is a lot of time wasted. The Orisa is just terrible here. I mean, okay, they're playing Symmetra, so I guess it makes more sense, but I think Orisa's only good in situations where you don't have to worry about off angles as much. I think she gets outvalued by Sigma, D.Va, and Zarya, specifically Sigma and D.Va, in situations where the off angles matter more, because she's very brute force right down the middle. And I think this first point here is close quarters, but I don't think it's close quarters enough. So let's look at our matrix management here. I mean, part of the problem is that they've got Violet Twilight, you know, that's no good. Like, who's gonna play Lucio? Notice the patience. Do you notice the patience with the matrix there? Not instantly matrixing, but like checking HP. High ground, a little bit of matrix early, get some value out of it. A little bit of matrix early. So what you're going to see from a lot of D.Va players that I think are using matrix properly is you're going to see about half to 2/3 of their matrix early on in the trade. Like a good chunk of the matrix early. And that's just to get min-max their value, right? Because it starts to regenerate immediately afterwards, right? So you might as well use some. So they get like a good value, a bit of matrix on the Orisa spam, Mei spam, Ana spam, Bap spam, the healing, you know, they put take a little bit of pressure off of their tanks, right? And then they sit and they hold, right? So there's a micro missile pressure. He's gonna hold. He's gonna matrix there, but it's gonna get walled, so he's gonna fly up. He's not gonna even matrix just yet until now, right there. And then look at the like that's a lot of matrix value, right? Mei is obviously freezing right now. She's not shooting, but if the Mei was shooting here, this is gonna be eating Orisa spam. This is gonna be eating any healing that the BAP is putting onto his tank line, any healing that the Ana is putting onto the tank line, as well as the, like we said, the Orisa spam, any Mei spam, etc. Okay, so good matrix here, probably.
Time to raise my APM.
And again, more matrix, right? And again, dude, look at the position here: high ground, off angle, utilizing the wall, and a little bit of a booster boop as well to kind of peel off his front line. So I think Shock have dug themselves a hole by having Twilight and Violet in. No, you don't need it. The Halt is like essentially worthless in this composition. Halt is only worth it if you're doing an ult combo, and Shock don't have any ultimates, or if you're doing like Halt Punch. Scouting, back to high ground. And he sees McCree now, so he's no longer scared. You see the Matrix usage here? A good chunk of Matrix early in the trade, even if they're not even swinging, takes a little bit of pressure off of Ryan's shield, doesn't feed ult charge. And then still Matrix when they actually needed it. A little bit of a boop on the Mei there, trying to disrupt the freeze. And then, oh, he should have Matrixed that. That's unfortunate. So Crimzo not having window is a shame right now, because they need to match this window, because this is actually pretty expensive. So I think that was a little sloppy here in terms of dropping. Like, we should have dropped behind card a little faster. That does cost us a pretty decent amount of Matrix and a pretty decent amount of our HP as well. So that was a pretty expensive little trade there for Piggy. A little bit of positional discipline. We see this sometimes with Divas where they just get a little sloppy their positioning, and just like the Plat Divas, right? They get their HP chunk before the fight like actually really starts, right? And that's what you're concerned about, because now it puts him behind in a hold where he can't play as aggressively as he'd like. And it also forces some Matrix. So could have been a little faster there with his positional work. A little bit of a try and disrupt the Mei there. He needs to do a better job matrixing this though, because this right here, Jengu, no shield. He needs matrix, and right now we're not actually like this needs to be fully matrixed. So Piggy does not track his team's HP very well here. And by the time he actually matrixes, 2 of his team is already dead. So probably a lost fight already based off of Piggy's positional discipline. It also looks like, is Dante missing? Yeah, is Dante missing? Yeah, they didn't have Dante, and they didn't have window, so that was huge. So they decided to just force him to use window and just die in card. But I think Piggy could have stalled that out better with better matrix management. Need to wait, Amory. So they're gonna clear high ground. Wow, that's actually astonishing. Most teams clear high ground here just to check for flanks and to create create an off angle, but they're just gonna go right down main. Again, you notice the attention here. Piggy is not concerned about Mei wall or Ryan shield or anything like that. The danger is here. Bap and Kree. This is what he's pressuring. He's not gonna necessarily go after them, but he's gonna let his presence be known. Not sure what he was matrixing there. Wait, why is it going back? Look at this again. It's a lot of matrix kind of. Maybe because he was scared of the off angle shooting this McCree. A little bit of sloppy matrix usage there, especially early on in that fight, like rotating around here. Like this, not so great matrix usage. His positioning here is good. Notice that he's on an off angle, but he can't be shot by their off angle. And at any point in time, he can shut down their off angle with matrix, right? So this positioning is really, really good. Oh, that's a very late beat. Hi, Kitty. I don't think they had it yet. They also lamped as well, which is really, really bad. Then the nano, the lamp is down. They don't have beat yet, and I actually think this is just not great matrix usage from Piggy, because like he used a lot of matrix. I don't understand what they were matrixing and why they lamped either. They kind of so first off, their initial rotation was bad. They rotated here and they didn't actually clear it out, so they're actually walking into a pincer from the BAP Kree here and the rest of the team here. So that, if that's what cost them their lamp and what cost them their matrix, then that's a mistake from the team. But I don't even think, even though their pathing was bad, I don't even think they needed to do that. So that and I really think, like I said, I think honestly just not great matrix management from Piggy. And then like right now, I want to see matrix here because like I'm expecting nade. Have we used nade here? Like nade should be coming in right now. Nade and McCree shot should be coming in right now. Yeah, so there was nade. We just missed it. Like, that's actually not good that we were not in a position to matrix a nade that was definitely coming in. Great sleep. Like right here's nade, right? Yeah. That needs to be matrixed. That needs to be matrixed. Or at least you need to like extend the matrix. We don't matrix. We still don't matrix. We still don't matrix. And now our team is dead. So the positioning was good there. But I really think the matrix management is really poor.
Routing power to forward shield. Time to raise my
I don't know why you're
APM.
matrixing this. That's a third of your matrix. I don't know why we're matrixing as much as we did there. That's too much matrix for that.
Routing
I don't know why you
power
matrix
to area.
there and then matrix that. So a lot of matrix mismanagement here. And then not matrixing here is a tragedy because this is right at the ultimates. This is the spike. This is when the nade comes in. This is when sleep, if it hasn't been used, is going in. This is when the McCree and BAP are just going to literally be hard damaging on your Rhine. So not so good.
Amplification matrix charging.
I mean, this is just bad from Outlaws. Like this defense was fine. Like honestly, without going into their defense, but this fight in particular was bad from Piggy and bad from the Outlaws. Where should Piggy be positioned? Piggy was well positioned. Positioning was fine. He was off angle, good cover, had a good angle on like shutting down the thing here. Like high ground here would have meant that he was not going to have good vision, and he'd have also gotten poked out too early. So his positioning was great.
Back in the game.
Matrix usage was not. Then the idea from going from me is that they have 2 fights instead of 1. Right. But you can still stop cart from high ground. Like you flip, you go here, you flip, and you stop the cart here, and you have Lucio speed, right? So they can't flip the map on you very quickly. All right, so let's see what's going on here.
I'm back in the game.
And they essentially have to take a fight a man down. I think you have to, like, you don't want to bomb this because of Creme, right? And Window, obviously, and Nade, and Sleep. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to bomb this, but I don't know what else Outlaws can do here. So, like, Dante has to get a huge May ult here or something, or they have to get a May wall, or they have to bait Matrix. So, I think what Piggy would like to do is Matrix in, and if he's not going to Diva Bomb, probably go up here and look to, like, get here on this position here. I think this is a really good position to control.
Routing power to forward shield.
Yeah. They get the May ult off, though. Wait, why is it going back? There's no way that's... Sorry, I'm sorry. I said 10 seconds. Okay, holy smokes. Matrix, he sees it gets walled, so he drops Matrix. Micro missiles is fine. Trying to flash there, maybe catch an ult, who knows. He's gonna boost her around behind cover, right? Flashes Matrix, and he just misses it. He misses it, and also he's not, I don't even think he knows where Striker is, so he like loses Striker. Also Striker on me, that's great. Oh, Piggy.
Routing power to forward shield.
I do think his position could be better here. I do think positioning up here would have been fine, especially early on. So like what I would have done here is I would have, you Matrix, wall, you're walking forward, you need to fly up here, and this gives you a great vantage point so that you can eat anything that you want. You can see Nade, you can see Mail, it gives you a good, there's like really hard for that Maid to sneak on you here. And you're at a perfect point to where you can't even be spammed from cover either. So I actually think this positioning is not very good from Piggy. Could be better. He misses the nade as well, which is almost unforgivable. Because this is going to force Lamp most likely. And considering the Outlaws did a phenomenal job surviving this. Wow, that doesn't force Lamp? Unbelievable. Crazy. They got really lucky. They are getting so lucky this fight. And then, you know, obviously, what are you matrixing there? Like, once the nade is done, what are you matrixing? So that's the problem with missing the matrix on the nade, is that not only do you miss the nade, but then you waste matrix. Because you go, nade, oh, I missed the nade, so now I'm going to matrix? There's my entire matrix, almost over half of my matrix, like of a bar, gone. But what was matrixed? Jack, nothing was matrixed. Nothing was matrixed at all. So it would have been better there to just eat the nade if you're not going to be able to matrix it in time, right? Or drop the matrix as soon as you see that you missed it. See how we play around Heiner. somehow that doesn't hit Piggy. He gets very lucky. He boops, flashes Matrix. It's a really nice Mei wall. I mean, just nothing really to write home about. Nothing really to write home about. I mean, I'm not saying poo-pooing on the Outlaws. The Outlaws are doing something right, but I'm not seeing it from Piggy. At least not in Diva. At least not in this map.
Time to raise my APM. Routing power to forward barrier.
I don't know that I want my Diva here. Okay, so maybe they're looking for a bomb. I do think that, like, again here, like, I'm not sure that I want Piggy here. So, like, I would want Piggy here-ish, ready to swing. Yeah, so I want Piggy here. I want Piggy swinging here. I do not want Piggy swinging here. I want Piggy swinging here. And then what this does is twofold. First off, he's free to shoot and put out a lot of pressure on Choi. Because, or Smurf or Violet or whatever he wants to shoot. And or absorb pressure because he's on an off angle, right? And they're all paying attention to High Noon. But the other thing that he can do here is he can split. He can booster through and boop Choi into the High Noon. He can watch for Matrix, then booster boop Choi out into the open. Like right now, he could and not even necessarily demech him, but he could force Matrix early before Choi wants to do it. So Piggy is just on main. Like, do you see what Don was it? Who was it? Was it Juby? Did Juby do it? Somebody boop Choi, it looked like. Yeah, so that should have been a Diva Lucio combo.
Nerf this.
Right? So he has nothing left to eat except for nade. And I don't like how he's positioned to try and eat the nade. Because I don't think he... Okay, there you go. There you go. Now he matrixes. I think he matrixes. Yeah, he definitely matrixes. Finally, this is what we were looking for. Okay, so this is when, again, we're aggressing, or the enemy team's aggressing, so we're aggressing right now. So this is where nade happens. The Violet probably throw a nade.
This will help.
Unfortunately, we missed the nade. But that's why we're matrixing here, because the nade's coming right now. You can predict it, right? And the healing and the damage and all that stuff. So like, let's see here. I would have used full matrix here. I would have used absolutely used full matrix here. Full matrix, and then back off this way and hide here and just kind of keep track of the battlefield and listen, and then peek out again here. I don't like where Piggy is positioned. He's getting chunked. He's taking damage that is just meaningless, and he's not positioned well to eat nades or to see anything.
Heal up.
Okay. So now he has to worry about like DPS ults.
Defense matrix activated.
Surprised Striker didn't ult that after he saw the matrix.
Defense matrix activated.
So this is okay-ish. He needs the booster. He needs the booster. Oh, I don't know about this. It's Jangu Shadow carries that. Yeah. I don't know, chat. I'm not impressed. Not in this map. Matrix management positioning, like, not consistent. I'm not loving it. Not loving it. Like, I think his position could have been a lot better to, like, actually give it better vision on the fight, / take a lot less damage early in pre-fight. And I think his matrix management was just kind of shaky. Like a lot of matrix where it's like, well, wait, why? Why are you doing that? So not bad, but I don't think I don't think his D.Va looks great on that map. Let's do one more map. Let's do one more map. What do you guys... It was voted for in chat. Voted for in chat. One more map, chat. You guys want to do Shock? So, which map? Dorado? What do you guys want? What do you guys want? Blizzard World, Dorado, Oasis, Dorado, Dorado. All right, we'll do Dorado.
Ready for battle.
Y'all are trolling me. These 8-minute maps.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So the Zarya is kind of an unusual choice. This is probably because they anticipate some variation of the monkey comp from Shock, or potentially Tracer, maybe. Basically, the reasoning is this: is that Brigzen, Ashe, Tracer, Ball is a spam comp, is a spam dive hybrid, and you often see it run with Sigma, at least on maps with good long sightlines, because the Sigma also provides a lot of spam as well. It's like just a longer sightline comp, right? Zen, Ashe, Sigma, like there's a synergy right there. The reason why you run Zarya is now you're hybriding to where you are playing, you're a little less strong, like playing to the strings of the longer spam, but you have a better defensive peel against harder dive comps. So Shock, from what we know, from at least from what I've seen, plays more of the monkey variations, more double bubble, right? And less of the spam stuff, right? So if you're a little more concerned about like, okay, this monkey dive, then you're probably going to be playing Zarya, especially on a map like Dorado on first, where there is a little bit of, like, it's not exactly a long-range sightline spam map. It's kind of, but it's also kind of short range. It depends on the map. So Zarya can kind of fit in between. So what this means is that Piggy is not going to be as scared of monkey jumping, right? Piggy also has answers if, for whatever reason, now they're running Violet Glister, but for whatever reason, if they ran a Tracer player, you have Bubble for Pulse, you have Bubble for Dive. So basically, the Zarya is like, hey, this isn't a super long spammy map like Blizzard World 2nd or Havana, but I can still get good spam here, and I personally can survive / deal with monkey better because of Zarya Bubble. So yeah, that's my opinion of this. So here's the thing with Zarya in this comp. So you guys know how I'm literally like, I'm mauled if my Zarya doesn't get charged pre-fight. This is one of the exceptions where getting charged pre-fight is actually really hard because there isn't a lot of spam from Shock outside of Violet. And sometimes if you play this with like you could play this with like an Echo, or you could play this with like a Sombra, or you can play this with like an Ashe, and those are all heroes that are hard to farm off of. So it's hard to farm charge, and this comp is a pretty hard dive, not a hard dive comp, but they're going to rotate and they're going to rush you down. And not having a bubble is pretty bad. So what you're probably going to see is Piggy will get to charge when he can, but he's more concerned about nailing the bubbles when on Smurf's initiation on himself and on whoever's being aggressed on. That's more important. He might be bubbling his backline. If his backline gets like hard rushed, he might be bubbling Zhengu if they're hitting them on a rotation. For example, they could have potentially slammed on that rotation here because this is a rotation you can punish somewhat. And he would have bubbled Zhengu there because his backline's not in any risk at all. But yeah, because you see how they're on Tracer, Monkey, Zarya is going to do much better against that. A lot more pressure against that. There's somebody at my front door. I cannot answer this right now, chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're good. Sorry, boys. But yeah, so like basically the Zarya can't really greed and farm energy. She's just gonna have to counter bubble whenever they aggress in, and then you're gonna be a 90 million charge once they're actually on you, and you're gonna hopefully murder them. So that's the thing with the Zarya, is like you lose a little bit of pressure early on with the Sigma, but once they're actually on top of you, you can survive a little easier because of your bubbles, and you actually do a lot more pressure. Like Sigma Rock is pretty scary against dive. But especially if they have a bubble for their monkey jump, like it doesn't do a lot. You would rather have your bubble in an 80 charge Zarya than you would a Sigma once you're being dove. So what Shock needs to do is they need to rotate to high ground, clear high ground, at the same time as leveraging cart and pushing cart, which is probably going to be done a little bit by Smurf, but also a lot by Glister as well, because they're going to get spammed out. And then they're going to push cart to about here, and then they're going to push high ground and push from here and pincer dive. So fight probably won't be decided on this high ground here. The Outlaws like... Yeah, that's insane. Like, how does that happen? What? Oh dear. That's not good. Like the problem with what the Shock are doing is that they're rotating as 4 in high ground and leaving their Tracer and Monkey on cart. But for whatever reason, Glister got destroyed, which should never happen. I don't care if Dante has Harmony Orb. And to be perfectly honest, I think Shock should have focused on pushing cart before they'd rotated high ground here. I think a little bit of leverage on high ground would have been okay, but certainly not as much as they did. I think what you could have seen is you could have seen Twilight play, sit here, and then quickly rotate here, and that would have been better. But this is problematic for the Shock. But again, do you notice how like Piggy's spamming, but we're not gonna use bubbles here. We're too scared. You have to be too cautious here. I will say though that just because he's 0 charge, he's landing these right clicks. He's landing these right clicks. This is actual pressure, actual charge, and Grab is a monstrous ultimate in this composition. Like you can burn through anything with a Graph. Solo Graph, creep, backline, kill a Primal Rage Nano Monkey. Like it is busted, especially with like pulse bomb combos and things like that as well. So probably gonna back up here. And there it is. There it is. There it is. There's what we predicted, right? No charge, no charge. But once the jump actually happens, 1 bubble, he's out. 2 bubble, I'm out. And now I'm really scary all of a sudden. Now I'm curious, what was happening with the Shock at the same time? So they get a sleep. Yeah, see, this is just not very good from the Shock. This is not very good from the Shock. So the sleep is great. But do you see how Shock are literally AFK here? This is when Shock would need to go... We need to rotate as 6 on the high ground at the same time and actually brawl push this, because you're just not going to, like, do you see this? Like, what are you getting, cart push? What? This is just no good from the Shock. This is not good execution. Like, even with the sleep dart, I don't think that's worth the, like, you have to actually push something, right? You have to actually clear the high ground and take the fight as 6. This is bad from Shock. But great bubbles from Piggy. And you see, he's just so much more higher in charge. So much higher in charge. Should have died there though.
My ultimate is charging.
So this is scary, right? This is scary. My question is, did he need to drop here? No, he didn't need to drop. I actually think he didn't need to drop. This is actually a mistake. He should have maintained high ground here. Shock is not pushing high ground. He actually dropped into the Shock. He could have stayed high ground here, and there's nothing. There's nothing that they could have done. So that's actually a mistake from Piggy. Should have stayed high ground. Should have maintained your positioning. Do not drop and give up good positioning if you can actually match it. And they matched it, right? They matched it. They were able to match both bubbles. There was no fallout from the Shock, etc. And now the charge is like more valuable, right? It means a slightly stronger poke phase. But again, it's gonna be the same thing. A slightly stronger poke phase, but we're gonna see both bubbles on the hard initiation and no bubbles before that. Unlikely, or we're not likely to use this one. That's a weird bob. Yeah, not great. Not great. So you're probably gonna see that the shocker, the Owl's gonna rotate away from that high ground now. Yeah. Play the longer sight line where the Zen spam is actually good and the Winston has a hard time engaging. So do you see why we're bubbling this? Like you're thinking, oh, well, shouldn't we be bubbling on their engage? And the answer is yes and no, because here's the thing. What Jengu's doing is he's saying, well, you guys are not going to get a clean dive for the next 10 seconds at least, or 8 seconds at least, because I'm going to slam you. We're going to hard commit on this dive, and we're going to spam you hard. Like, I guarantee you, if you look at Dante here, yeah, Dante's pushing high ground. Happy has a great LOS. Look at Crimzo. Crimzo has a good LOS. He's getting distracted by Glister right now. Piggy also has good LOS, right? So there's going to be a lot of damage coming in on Shock right now. And what that means is that Shock is not going to be in a position to actually dive Crimzo for a little bit, because they're not going to have their abilities. That's going to force a lot of Matrix. They're going to be like 1 HP. It's going to force armor packs, maybe a nade, maybe even a monkey bubble here. And so do you see how this is hitting them before they're in a position to dive you? So you can either use your bubbles to peel, or you can use your bubbles to aggress and prevent them from even getting in a position to dive in the first place. And the reason why you're seeing that now and not earlier is that we haven't seen Shock in a really easy to dive or pressure location up until this point. All the other positions were too far away. Your Zen couldn't really see. It was too close. This is both far away and exposed for Shock. So this is very punishing to Shock. So you're very gladly committing a projected bubble here, because you know, hey, my Zen's not going to need bubble here because these guys are getting screwed. Now the other thing to keep in mind is also Crimzo has trance. So there's a lot of like a little niche things here, but this is the correct play. Because like we're gonna come in here, but look at Smurf before he even jumps. Before he even jumps. He's down over 100 HP. He's look at this, look at this, and look at Choi, look at Choi. Look at Choi, right? That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Good stuff. A Piggy plays cover. This is really good. They just can't kill him. They just can't. Good kite to cover there. Probably a little bit of an early bubble there. Ron Sigma, absolutely. We might see a bubble here. Probably not, because he knows Glister has pulse. We might have seen a bubble there. He might have been looking for some energy. I do think Shock is playing this poorly. Not a good bubble. I think Dante was okay. Dante had blinks available. Yeah, he does. So he's okay. I'm not sure if this was intended for Jengu. It probably was. We'll look at this again. Yeah, that's intended for Jengu. And again, we're going in another situation here where Jengu is trying to disrupt this dive so that if Smurf Choi jump in, that they're going to be, again, low in HP. We've already forced, is this Monkey Bubble? Right, so we've already forced Monkey Bubble and Rally, and what's Choi's Matrix position situation at? So we're almost no Matrix, and this is before the fight is even started. Before the fight has even started, we've already put them on the back foot. That's exactly what you want to do. So this next dive is going to be weak. Now, the missed bubble sucks, but it is what it is. We'll probably see Jengu actually mines this now as well, so to completely scuff this out. Doesn't it look like you get a chance to? Body blocks. Again, good bubble. Probably just grab this. Yeah. Goodbye. Now we counter rally and we push. Ooh, unfortunate. Got a little too aggressive post bubble. Like it's remember what we talked about the other day. As soon as that bubble's gone, you gotta chill. You have to chill. You have to chill. Like you have to understand, like the level of aggression has to scale it back. Okay, we're gonna go Diva. Sure, we'll look at a fight from Diva. Is there gonna even be a fight? Yeah, there's gonna be a fight. Is it McCree? We're just shooting. We're just shooting ball. Okay. How do they keep him up? All right, so nothing home to write. You know, nothing crazy, but okay. Solid Zarya play. Solid Zarya play. I think the bubble usage here was, for the most part, was pretty good. I like that we were able to like find a balance between like hard peeling when they were close versus like when they were far away, and we could disrupt them using our bubbles more aggressively. Obviously the grab on the monkey, that's exactly what you want to do. Probably a little bit too much aggression, like dropping off of high ground there on the first bridge wasn't great, but honestly it was like fundamentally like a good execution from the Outlaws. So that's like equal part shock throwing, but also I think Outlaws did play that one pretty well, at least from what we saw and how them hitting them and where they were smashing and that kind of thing. Right, so like this is kind of like what the Shock should have done better, in my opinion. Notice that they're pushing high ground, right? But they're not leaving the people in cart exposed. So you don't really, like, Shock can't really, all right, we're just jumping kill Piggy, everybody all in, right? It's just not really necessary. Like, they don't really want to commit this far, because if they all commit here, Piggy's going to person bubble, he's going to drop, he's going to kite this way, right? Or he's going to kite this way, back towards his team's LOS. And it's going to be very, very, very far. They might kill Piggy, but they're probably going to get overextended. They're going to have to give up high ground to do that. So you don't need to invest this many resources to pressure or clear high ground. And you can kind of see this from the Outlaws. Like, you see how they are going to push their supports, but first off, these guys are playing really passive. Very, very, very passive. And that they're still like, I don't even think the Outlaws played that one that well, to be honest. I don't think you... I mean, you do, I guess you do want your Ana Korean high ground. Yeah, you want your Ana Korean high ground, but you have to play a lot more passive. Okay, anyway, let's focus on Piggy. We might see a personal bubble here. We might see some energy tried to farm here because, again, Shock don't really want to attack this way, right? They're thinking about, okay, we're going to rotate here and then hold our space. They don't really want to aggress this way because if they mess up, they die. And then, obviously, the respawn advantages with the attackers. Is Piggy as good as A10? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Piggy's a pretty good Zarya. I haven't watched enough of A10. A10 was really good back in the day, but I haven't seen A10 play in a while. Bubbling aggressively. Doesn't get anything, so they immediately back out. And again, not forcing the personal bubble. Now, you'll probably see a personal bubble used here because he's held the space. He saw Monkey use cooldowns. Their Tracer is dead. There's no way he gets punished for using personal bubble here. So we're probably going to see personal bubble here. Right. Right? I'm curious, how does Glister die, though? Right. So this is good. A little... Okay, so the Jenga calls to go. So that's a little unfortunate that we don't have personal bubble right now, because I assume that we're going to kind of stabilize, but Jengu just like wants to go balls to the wall. So not having personal bubble is a little scary here, because you are exposed without personal, but the projective is fine. They get it. And maybe we'll get our personal bubble in time. I don't like this. I don't like how aggressively we're pushing here. This is a little scary. Now it's fine because you have personal. How do they not kill Glister? What? I think Glister is sleeping. Who is sleeping? Oh, it's Happy sleeping. I'm sorry. I seriously thought it was a Shock player. Smack. Yeah. Morning. Hey, kitty. Do you want to eat? Let's eat. I'm gonna feed my cat really quick. Give me 1 second, chat. Come eat. But yeah, like honestly, like Outlaws just like fundamentally like it looked a lot better there. Like the team play, the timing. Happy looked pretty good. I think Happy looked pretty good on the Zarya. I'm a little like here's your narrative, chat. Okay, based off of watching 2 maps off of 1 game. All right, now I want you guys to go spam competitive Overwatch subreddit with your dogmatic opinion because you watched 1 stream. Okay, Happy good Zarya, Happy good Sigma, Happy not very good at D.Va. And you know that for fact because you watched that 1 streamer guy watch 1 map from the 1 game thing. So joking aside, his D.Va did not look as good on that map. Piggy But yeah, Piggy did look. You threw me. You messed me up. So yeah, Piggy did not look at as good on a diva. He looked a little worse. So, but now obviously, like that's you guys know for a fact that that's the case, and so there you go. Yeah, Happy does everything. Yeah, Happy is. See, that's the thing is like Happy is actually Violet, so he just plays every single role. Okay. Overwatch League is starting soon, and I have to go get ready for stuff. So I'm gonna peace out. But I have a treat for you guys. I have a treat for you guys before we leave, because we're gonna be hosting the Silver Console Mercy that we reviewed on Volskaya, Sleepy Hearts, who's been in chat for a little bit off. So we're gonna be tossing her a host, and I'm gonna be saying hello, and you guys better as well. So anyway, I will toss her a host, and I will see you guys later. We'll do a scouting report pretty soon. I'm not sure what day we'll do a scouting report. There's a very high chance I will not be streaming on Monday because I have some IRL stuff, some other stuff that I have to do. But as usual, I will see you guys next week. Raid or host? I guess I just host. I'll figure out raiding later. All right, chat. I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend. Smile out.